Sneeze this time. Today, as soon as we started, that's great.
Hey, it's okay. Everybody knows that you are a sneezeaholic, so it's totally fine.
I am, and right now is like the 2-week time frame building up to when pollen starts to fall, and everyone's allergies really do get crazy, and mine have been kind of wild the last few days. So,
yeah, and you know what? I woke up this morning and my head was like killing me, and had to be because of the rain stirring shit up or something. You know what I mean?
Warm, I'm sure, like that, and the different pressure, like the barometric pressure, that messes with you too.
Messes with my knees as well. Like, you know what? It's so true. Like when people have knee issues, like you can always tell when shit like is about to go down weather-wise because it changes the pressure and your knees start hurting or something. Your joints start aching.
I didn't even think about that, but this morning I woke up and my right hip is the one that bothers me when I start upping my training. And I did run faster yesterday, so I was thinking that was it, but the weather probably affected it too because my right hip was just super stiff.
It's totally the weather. I mean, obviously, yeah, probably the run didn't help either, but it's the weather. Like I feel like I'm an amateur weather forecaster with my knees. You know what I mean? Because I can whenever. Yeah. I can always tell when it gets my knees start like aching and, you know, really kind of hurt. And I'm like, man, let me check the weather. Is it about to rain? Like what's about to happen? But yeah. So speaking of the weather yesterday, we had many people ask us and give us well wishes to make sure that we got through the rain and through the crazy weather. Okay. And Jacqueline and I both fared well. It was pretty dangerous out there in a lot of East Texas towns and cities. A couple areas close by, both of us got hit actually with tornadoes. So it was pretty wild weather last night. I was up late checking the weather, making sure we didn't have any naders coming through Canterbury Street, but we were good. We just had a lot of rain and high winds. So we did a little tornado prepare on the back patio, so I have to fix that tomorrow. But yeah, so we were good. And Jacqueline just said she had a lot of rain, I believe, right?
Yeah, I mean, there were a few like semi-large branches that fell on my balcony, but nothing like, I didn't see anything crazy. I mean, it was just a lot of, during the day, there were several periods where the wind blew super hard, but like nothing happened. And then it was just a lot of rain. I don't know how much rain, but Dad did text me and inform me that y'all got 3 inches in Nacogdoches because, you know, he's watching that rain gauge. So,
of course he is. You know, I kind of want to get a rain gauge too, and so that maybe me and him can like go back and forth with our statistics on rain gauges.
Okay, really quick, I have to tell one fast story about his most recent excitement over there on Chaparral, and hopefully no one gets offended by this story because it's Texas. But they've been having an armadillo that's been tearing up everyone's yard. Mm-hmm. And so him and a few neighbors have been on the lookout, and I'll be damned if the great white hunter didn't shoot the armadillo the other night. He was so proud too.
Oh my God, the great white hunter.
So, I'm done. Do you have any like PETA followers? Y'all know, listen, I'm the biggest softie for animals, but armadillos are just kind of a nuisance. And
they're a nuisance, exactly. That would be like someone taking care of, you know, a nuisance like wild boar or something, you know?
Yeah, there's no way. I mean, what are you going to do? You can't set a live trap and catch it and put it out somewhere else because they carry diseases too. So, I mean.
It's Texas. I think we're fine. I think, you know what I mean? If people get upset that the great white hunter took out an armadillo, one little armadillo, I mean, that guy could have gotten hit by a car. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
And if y'all knew how meticulous Richard was with his lawn, you would understand.
This is a fact.
The armadillo had to go. It was its last day.
It was either the armadillo or Richard Parton was going to actually have a shit fit. So it was better the armadillo just went. Cut it. Yeah, so that's funny. We got through the weather. Richard Parton got rid of the diller. What else is going on in our lives? I actually canceled classes today because the weather was so bad still this morning. Not necessarily where I was, but a lot of my students emailed me or messaged me, said that there was down power lines in there on their county roads. And because, you know, a lot of my students are they don't live on campus because we don't have really a big on-campus presence for dorms. And so a lot of them live at home or live in the area. And so actually a lot of them live like 30, 45 minutes away from Angelina, live on, in BFE, county roads, barely any service. And it's one of those types of schools. So a lot of them messaged me saying that their county roads were flooded. There were limbs or trees down on their county road. And I was just like, you know what? I've gotten like 5 or 6 emails and messages this morning from multiple students. I'm just no class. Just don't even try. I don't care if you can get to class or not. Just stay home. It's not worth it. It's not worth you trying to get around all of that mess and it be dangerous. And then I had no idea what it looked like on my commute. So I just said, you know what? Just stay home, do work at home. You have stuff to work on. Don't worry about it. So I was able to get a little bit more sleep, which was nice, but definitely have a little bit to catch up on tomorrow at work. But hey, I'd rather do that than have everybody struggle to get to class on time by 9:30 and have to, go through flooded streets and waters. And that's just it's not safe. So just no point. So I had an extra little day at home, which was nice, but at the same time, I'm getting too used to being at home. I need to go back to work. Anyway, so let's get started. Let's talk about this game. So we were invited to the CBI. We're invited to the NIT for whatever reason. Probably, I don't even know if was Seattle invited to that.
I don't think so.
I don't know if any of the WAC people were invited to the NIT, which whatever, that's fine. Whatever reason being, or if anybody just, I don't know. Anyway, so we were invited to the CBI tournament, which was in Daytona, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. I was making sure you remember. Yeah. In Daytona, Florida. And we were matched up with, we were the 4 seed and we were matched up with UNC Asheville, which I believe they were like, I don't even know, the 14th or 15th seed or something like that. I don't even remember what it was. I didn't really look at the bracket before going over this. But anyway, so we were matched up with them and we played on Saturday afternoon, like around 1:30-ish our time. And so, yeah. Tell us about the game.
All right. So, well, first I'll kind of just let y'all know who all was in this tournament. There were several WAC appearances.
That's true.
Yeah. So from the WAC, there was us, California Baptist, and Abilene Christian. There was Drake, Middle Tennessee, Purdue, Fort Wayne. Of course, we played UNC Asheville, Ohio, Rice, UNC Wilmington, Virginia Military Institute. I had to look that one up because they just had it listed as VMI, and I was like, never heard of VMI. Florida Atlantic, Northern Colorado, UNC Greensboro. So lots of UNCs in there.
Yeah.
Boston University and Troy. So those were the teams. Going into this game, UNC Asheville's overall was 17 wins and 13 losses. They were 8-8 in the Big South, their respective conference. We had, for starters, we had Gavin, David, Calvin, Trell, and Nigel came back for an appearance in the starting 5. We did lose 80-68. The attendance was 588. So for the stats, we got Sean Kennedy's stat section. Our field goal percentage was 45.8. They did have a higher percentage with 51. And we took almost the same amount of shots. We took 6 more shots than them. We took 59. They took 53. So, our 3-point percentage was 22.2. Theirs was 52. We'll get to that, but they were shooting the threes and they were making a good bit of them. Our free throw percentage was 66.7. They shot 74. We did have 46 points in the paint. So, I mean, that is right where we want it. We had 20 points off of turnovers. We had 11 second chance points. We had 8 fast break points, 23 bench points, pretty good. We were out rebounded quite a bit. We had 27 rebounds, they had 36.
Oof.
So
Yeah.
almost by 10. We had 10 offensive boards and 17 defensive boards. We had 18 fouls, which is only one more than they had. We had 16 turnovers. Not shabby. They have more than us. They had 21.
Right.
We had 10 blocks. 10 steals and 1 block. Sorry. And our game leaders, we had Day and Gavin each with 13 points. Gavin had also 7 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals. He did have 9 turnovers though, which kind of sucks. Day, in addition to the 13 points, had 3 rebounds and 1 assist. Then we also had Nigel with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals. Nigel had a great game. Hey, Rick Thompson.
Rick.
Long time no see, man. How you doing?
Hope you got through the weather okay, bud.
So yeah, Nigel had a really good game. I don't know if the starting gave him a little extra juice, but great game, Nigel. Trell had 10 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Also great game.
Good job, Trell. Yeah, so to roll right into the feats of strength, and yeah, we lost the game, understood, but we did have a couple good moments yesterday. Not yesterday, it felt like yesterday, on Saturday. Let's see here. I will say one thing too was there were a couple really good moments in transition. One, I think a couple by David and a few, I think maybe by Nigel, or if I can remember correctly, Calvin as well. Just some good moments in transition basketball, getting turnovers and getting back over and getting the basket, the layups. Day, nice moves to the basket as always. Love watching him play. I think he's going to be so good for us next season. I tweeted this the other day because it was something that was, everybody just started hitting the transfer portal like immediately over the weekend. And I was just starting to get super nervous. And I was like, please, Lord Jesus, don't let this happen, anything to us on our end. I really am just fingers crossed and just like.
Yeah, if it does, their doorsteps begging for them to come back.
Oh, I will do whatever I need to do. I will bake cookies. I will promise that we won't talk shit. I mean, I'll do whatever I need to do. Like, I'll do whatever I need to do to make sure.
Promise. That's a big promise.
I will I will say whatever I need to say.
I don't feel like we ever talk shit, really.
No, we don't. I don't think we do. It's just we don't. I mean,
I got a news flash for y'all. If y'all think we've been talking shit, y'all ain't seen talking shit.
Legitimately. Like, we just look at the stats and give our opinions. That's all we do. It's not talking shit. It's just literally looking at the stat line and saying, wow, you had, 10 steals or 10 turnovers. That isn't great, because it's not. I mean,
we're just discussing the facts. That's it.
That's it.
We don't say anything personal. We don't.
No, never.
Nasty.
Because it's not that critical. It's not that critical. Anyway, so back to the game. Nigel had there were a couple nice moments with the 3 ball. Obviously, I know our 3 wasn't that great, but we had a couple that were good. Nigel for 3. Trell had a nice 3. Of course, oh my God, that slam from Calvin was just chef's kiss beautiful. I mean, what a move. Again, I know we didn't have a lot of really great moments offensively, but that one was just really, really good. That just shows, again, how well we can move the ball around, especially in transition and especially like that. And I just wish that we would have had more juice for this game. I don't know if it was because we were just tired, traveled, just end of our ropes of playing basketball, and we were just tired. Didn't know if we, again, we don't know. We're just assuming things, making assumptions. Don't know if it was just, the guys didn't want to play or they felt like they deserved better, which of a tournament. I don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't. I do think it's safe to say though, at the end of any season like that, you're gonna have a mix. You're gonna have a mix of people who want that extra game and they don't care what tournament it is, they're just happy for another game. And then you have some people who are like, if we didn't make it, I'm out. I don't have the effort left for. So you're always gonna have a mixed bag of emotions there, as you should. I mean, it's a complicated thing to figure out how you feel about. So
Oh, completely. I agree. And so that's why I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, you know what? It could have been for sure that mix during this game where you had a bunch of guys that really, really wanted to give their all. And then a bunch of guys like, you know what? Like, I'm just spent. I'm done. I'm tired. My body is tired. And we get it. If that was us, we would have been dead at Vegas. And you know what I mean? Like, we were dead at Vegas, but I mean, you know what I mean?
I'm still recovering, y'all.
My legs have finally, and you know, of course, some people know, some people don't. So I have a torn meniscus in my right knee, and I'm pretty sure either some torn ligament or something in my other knee. And so, which I know I need to get fixed. I know, thank you, Mom. I need to get fixed. But I know. Anyway,
Kay
so
on you. Kay Parton will get on you.
I know. She already got on me about getting a sleep apnea test.
She's all over me for sleep apnea and for getting the little spot on my neck checked out. So I'm doing that this Friday.
We both have that same little spot, almost in the same exact fucking spot.
Well, I'm getting it checked Friday, y'all. So
I know. Could you please report to your mother that I got mine checked last time at the doctor last week, and she said it was fine. So please report back to Kay that it's fine.
Y'all are also worried about our health and wellness here, but now you know.
Now you know. Anyway, so and please report to your mother that I did get a sleep apnea test. I just need to make sure my insurance will cover it. Anyway, whatever. Back to the game. Anyway, I've lost my train of thought. I'm going back. I'm getting all topsy-turvy. Live ball turnovers. We had a slow start, but then we finally started picking things up towards the end of the first half, getting live ball turnovers, getting a lot of decent rebounds defensively. Not so much offensively. Yeah, we only had 10 offensive rebounds and 17 defensive rebounds. We weren't doing well rebounding wise, like Jacqueline mentioned. They were killing us. They had, again, 36 to our 27. But we did get some good looks defensively. You know, Gavin did, Nigel, Trell with 3 as well. Normally you don't see Trell getting too many rebounds, but he actually was in there getting some rebounds for us, which was nice, all defensively. Let me see what else I had on my list of good stuff. The second half really, really started off well for a little bit. So the second half started off really good coming out of the half, went on like a 7 or 11-0 run, really, really doing well, playing good. And then, of course, just don't really know where the turning point occurred in the second half specifically, that things just kind of stopped going our way. Couldn't really point it out. I'm sure there was a myriad of different things that were occurring that just didn't, contribute to the win. Calvin, again, looking good offensively. I cannot wait to continue seeing how he builds, especially in the offseason, how he builds his, repertoire to really continue to be offensively minded as well as defensively minded. Because he's really improved over the last few weeks or few months rather of the season when it comes to offensive play. So can't wait to see how he continues to improve there. He's been doing really well. And so, of course, yes, points in the paint back where they should be. Normally when we're having that many points in the paint, we're going to win the game. But UNC Asheville just honestly had our number when it came to, shooting. So what can you do there? I mean, you can only score so many points in the paint, but you really can't keep up when someone is just draining threes. And then anyway, but we'll get to the negative in a minute. But go ahead, Jax.
Okay. So one thing I did notice that Killer switched up and I liked is that most of the times whenever Calvin was in, he had Calvin throwing the ball in, which I think is great because starting next season, he'll probably be the one throwing the ball in.
True.
I feel like it was generally him or Nigel throwing in the ball. So that was good. I like seeing little adjustments like that, proactive stuff, because, we're not going to have Gavin next year be throwing the ball in and trailing down the court. So good for somebody else to get practice and get ready to step into that role.
For sure.
I thought David handled the full court press pretty well. There were a few turnovers, I know, from a couple of the other guys, but I felt like for the most part, David handled it really well, so that was good. Nigel's looking great from the 3, 2 for 2. Super happy with that. Awesome.
I just wish that would have just continued, but hey.
I know.
Yeah, or better looks, more looks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And maybe that'll give him a little confidence. So let's see. Trell, even though Trell didn't have the best day on threes, only 2 of 9, the 2 that he did make were literally back to back. So that was nice. David with the layups was great. And I don't know if when you were watching it at the brewery, if y'all could hear the commentators or whatever. I figured you probably couldn't really.
I turned it up as loud as I could without it being too distracting to everything else that was going on. Because I didn't want it to, I turned it up so that you could hear the announcers. And I actually did write down a comment about the announcers, and I forgot to say it that at one point, I don't know if it was during the first half or the second half, that the announcers were talking up Coach Keller really well, saying that he was one of the most elite coaches in the country. Which I thought was a nice comment. So that was the one thing I heard from them that was like extremely positive about the team.
So I have only one. I somehow didn't hear that because I'll get to it in my grievances. They lost me before the game even started. So I with something which I'll list in my grievances and so I kind of tuned them out. But the one good thing I did hear them say is on one of the times when David made one of his amazing layups that he always makes, one of them said, I wish he'd be more aggressive. And I was like, me too sometimes. But here's the thing, it's tough. And that's like, I feel like a topic we've talked about a lot. And that is my age and debate with my father's BFF, John Alvin, of who was the most valuable player between Thomas Walkup and Trey Pinckney. And I always have to give it to my boy Trey, because as great as Thomas was, like, Trey was the man behind the man,
right,
and all that stuff. And the thing was, what people didn't realize is Trey could score and shoot really well. He just, if you're a good point guard and you have good people to get the ball to, you don't have to score. That doesn't fall on your shoulders. You can if you have the opportunity, but it shouldn't fall to you. And so while I did agree, like sometimes I do wish David would be more aggressive, because he is great and he can shoot outside and he can drive in, but if he's a good point guard, that shouldn't be his first thing. So it's just, I feel like you got to take the happy medium and be nice when you see the moments. Be happy when you see the moments happen. But anyway, but it was nice that they said that.
That is, no, I agree. I didn't hear that, but now that you say that, I agree. There are moments where, man, he just kills it, especially in transition. Yes. Oh my God. David is one, like, not the best, because obviously we've had a lot of really great point guards, obviously, like Trey and etc. But like when we're in transition like that, he just kills it with those layups. He can make a layup look easy, and it's like behind the back, over, just hooks it in there. Shots that you don't think are going in, they go in. And David was so good at that, and that's something that we're definitely going to miss. And I'm eager to see who's going to step up and take his position as point guard and really kind of take that role on. I don't know if it's going to be Jalen. I don't know if it's going to be, well, I don't know if Nigel's going to be there anymore, so probably not him. Most likely Jalen. I don't know if Trell would take that position over. Probably not. I don't really see him as the point guard, unless, again, he practices over the off season. But it's probably because who took it out the most when it wasn't David? It was probably Jalen.
Yeah, I don't see them putting, who knows, but I don't see him putting Trell at the point, since he's our strongest 3-point shooter.
Yeah, I don't either. You're right. Yeah, exactly. I was just trying to think of who all is left on the team that could potentially do it. But I think, honestly, Jalen was probably the one that took it out the most when David wasn't in the game, when he was resting. So it's probably going to be Jalen or maybe Day, but I don't know. I feel like Day would be better under the basket / forward. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So other note that involves David. Oh my gosh, when David did the behind the back pass to Nigel and then Nigel passed it to Gavin all in transition on fast break. Love, 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 love. Can't love it enough. I just love to see stuff like that when they're so in sync and something just pop, pop, pop that quick, like smoothly happens. Amazing.
Agreed.
Let's see. Okay, Calvin. Great game. Shot at the elbow. I love when he shoots outside. I wish he would do it more. Love it so much. The dunk. Holy shit. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Jalen was playing some great defense. He got a steal 2 possessions in a row. I was like, here we go, Jalen.
Yeah.
With the defense. I was very excited. Derek had a very nice little cut to the bucket that I just loved so much. And then we actually did have a back door, and y'all know I love it whenever we actually get a back door. So
I know. I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't write that down, but it was, I don't know if it was in a transition backdoor or can you remember? I don't know if it was, but again, like transition basketball, like we really need to just really just, I don't know, not highlight that, but work on that. You know, we already so good at, we need to continue being good at that. I feel like that is where we can really kind of stifle teams down, is when we get a steal in transition, kill it, and just really kind of take the wind out of their sails. I feel like that is when we can really capitalize on shutting them down, is kind of making a good steal or something, and then just boom, transition layup, pull up three, big fast brace dunk, something to take the wind out of the sails. Really need to just continue on with that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's get it for the last time this season.
With the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. Now you're going to hear about it. You.
For the last time this season, let's talk about grievances. So, first grievance right off the bat, CBI. You can honestly take a long walk off a short pier with the bullshit with Flo Sports. What in the actual frick are you? People are going to pay $30 to watch a game?
Yeah, I haven't, you know what? And I actually need to ask my cousin more about it too, since he just started working for them. But I don't know what all else they cover, because I feel like the only time that I hear of them is when we have a random game, and then it's like, yeah, nobody wants to pay $30 for 1 month subscription to watch one game.
Exactly.
So I wish they had some kind of option for like a one-off something. Yep. Well, obviously they're like everybody else. They're trying to be a subscription service, and you can't do that if you're a one-off. So I get it.
Which, yes, of course, I get it. But when a one time a year tournament is going to be broadcasted on Flo Sports, and that is the only time when some of these people are going to download and subscribe to you, and you know sure as shit that they're going to unsubscribe as soon as their game is over, why not? I feel like it would be just a smarter deal to have like a temporary, like 24-hour access or something, or a week access for X amount of dollars, so that more people would be inclined to sign up if it wasn't $30 for those 3 or 4 games that their team is playing, not $30 for an entire month that they're only going to be using for 5 days. That to me just doesn't make sense to me. Like, when there's a bunch of people that said, oh yay, like, can't wait to watch the Lumberjacks play this game. And then when they logged on to see how much it would be to watch their one game, but we didn't know it was going to be one game, but still one game, they're like, $30, fuck that. And I'm just like, I agree. The only reason why because I put it on is because I put it on because we were watching it at the brewery, and my boss was like, yeah, whatever, just do it. And I'm like, all right, cool. So people don't want to pay $30. I mean, I don't know. That's just a big grievance for me. Like, do like a 24-hour access price, or, a 48-hour thing or something, to where you can not have to shovel out $30 for potentially one game. I think that's a little obscene, to be fair. I mean, people barely want to pay $5.99 or whatever it is for ESPN Plus every month. They're going to bitch about that. They're going to bitch about $30. So I don't know, that's a big grievance for me that I have Flo Sports. And then of course, I mean, the stream was okay. It wasn't great. I don't know.
It did seem marginally better than the ESPN app, because while there were a few points that it got a little fuzzy and wasn't like completely in focus, it didn't do the constant buffering bullshit that makes me want to.
Which again, I don't understand why yours does that, because mine never does that on ESPN ever. I don't know. It's the weirdest thing that you have to deal with, and I don't get it, because my ESPN app never does that. Never. It's the weirdest thing, and I wouldn't have believed it unless I saw it for real. And
when you does that almost every time. That's the worst I've done it. That last video that I sent you, but almost every game it does. And it does this thing where if I pause it for too long, it times out and you have to completely start the game over, which is so frustrating because
that's happened to me before. Yes.
Because I know what time point of the game clock I'm at, but that's never the time frame of the actual recording. So then it's a whole other pain in the ass to try to find exactly where you were.
Yeah. So ESPN needs to get some things straight on their app. It's just kind of irritating. So every other grievances I have about the game itself, though, I mean, our shooting was just abhorrent. I mean, when it came, it wasn't the best at all. I mean, we were 4 of 18 from the 3 total. First half, 1 of 6. Second half, 3 of 12. Just not good. I mean, Trell, I love you so much, but 2 of 9, that's just not good.
That's a bad day for him. Bless his heart.
I know, I love him so much, but that's just a bad day. Bad shooting day. Our shots were just not there. Compared to theirs, our shots were just not there, and they were at 52.2%. They were 12 of 23. I mean, almost, 12 of 23 on their shooting for 3, and then 50.9% on field goal. I mean, there was a guy that hit, let's see here. I mean, one guy, Drew Pember, was 3 of 5 from 3. Another guy, Tajon Jones, was 4 of 7. I mean, they were doing way better than us. I mean, they had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in double-digit points compared to our 3. And just big difference shooting wise, and it was just we weren't there. We weren't prepared for that type of. I don't know. Just weren't prepared for that. I don't know. Just weren't there. Other thing is when I try to go find the actual college basketball invitational website, I kept Googling CBI tournament, CBI invitational, CBI whatever. I just kept Googling it, and nothing kept popping up. Only Wikipedia pages. I had to go to their Facebook page in order to find the actual website of the CBI. And that's because it doesn't start with CBI tournament. It starts with gazellegroup.com. How is anybody supposed to find
that? Their SEO is not good then, because it shouldn't matter what the URL is. Their SEO should be pulling what people would search to find it.
Exactly. I literally scrolled all the way to the bottom of the first Google and still there was no CBI anything. All it was Wikipedias and news articles about the tournaments. That was it. There was no official website. I'm like, that is horrible.
Yeah, CBI, you can call up Holt Creative Group and ask for me, and we will get that sorted out for you, because that you should not be like way down on page 2 and not even found.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. The fact that I had to go to their Facebook page to find the actual link to their website to look at their, to look at everything and see what box scores or just whatever. I mean, it shouldn't matter what I'm looking for. The fact that I had to go that deep into researching it to find their website should tell you a lot. And
if you want people to pay that $30 to Flo Sports to watch the games, then you should probably be able to Google and find the website so that you know what you're looking for.
And bingo. Few other things game-wise. Man, there was a moment when UNC had 3 straight blocks on us. 3 straight blocks in a row. 1, 2, 3. Boom, boom, boom. Not good. I mean, they had 6 total. We had 1. It's just, I mean, boy, guess who had all 6?
Pimber.
Remember that one big, tall, white kid who was also hitting all these damn threes.
That dude was wild.
He was all over our ass, hitting threes, blocking shots. He was great. I mean, great player. Just we were not prepared for that. I just don't know what we were doing. We were getting blocked every which way, sideways and front ways. I mean, every time we were trying to get a shot down there in the paint, block. It just felt like at one after another after another. I mean, there were 6 total. I mean, that's way too many.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But the 3 right in a row was like such a killer momentum-wise and confidence-wise. Holy crap. Just not ideal. Not ideal. Again, I wrote in all caps, man, they're shooting threes like a bitch. Holy shit. Same guy that is blocking all these shots, shooting threes. Jesus Christ. I wrote that literally in all caps. There was a moment when Calvin started pushing and shoving, and I think that's when he got the tech.
Yes, but okay, and it was a double tech. They called it on him and the other guy. I will say,
good. Okay.
From what I observed, and again, I could have not seen all of it too, because I'm only seeing when the camera's on the 2 of them. So who knows what happened before? But it seemed to me that the other guy was the one initiating it and starting it. But
I'd be surprised.
But Calvin took, regardless. Calvin
responded. Yeah.
And whatever. I'm sure it was a little back and forth, and then I think probably Calvin maybe said something, and then the guy pushed him, and then Calvin pushed him back. So double tech. There you go.
I know. I love Calvin so much, and I'm glad that he stands up for himself, though. But sometimes,
though, it's like such a mind-boggling thing to me, because I feel like he is the coolest, chillest one on the team 90% of the time. Or maybe 95, whatever. But then that small percentage, when he gets irritable, he just reacts immediately.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. He's literally having the most fun on the court, laughing, carrying on, cutting up, like, talking back and forth with refs, on the bench, making jokes, cheering people on. But you're right. There is just some switch that flips when something happens, and it just goes from 0 to 100. And that's when I feel like he's the one that I feel like he's always getting teed up. Always. Not always. You know what I mean? Like whenever we have a tee, I feel like it's usually him.
Well, yeah, I feel like there's a combination of 2 things. And one of them, I said to him after one of the games, I said, why are these refs always coming for you when you're like the chillest one on the team? I do feel like there have been 2 different scenarios where like 100%, I feel like the ref is the one who like made an issue when it was a non-issue.
Correct.
But then I think that him and player scenarios are like, he's the coolest, chillest player ever, but I think he has a few very specific triggers that, like, if someone's, I don't know, certain brand of talking shit, maybe, because I don't know, I'm not on the floor, I'm just guessing. Or like the push and shove stuff that the ref doesn't see. And I get that too, because I mean, I'm not going to lie. I kind of did that whenever I played, because I was always the smallest one. And sometimes these broads would think they could just push me around. And it's like, then when you're the one to push back, that's when the referee sees it. And I'm like,
it's always the second person, never the first. And they always look to you like, oh, well, you're the one over here starting stuff, short stuff, And
then it gets frustrating, because you're like, the last 3 times on the court, she's been pushing my ass all over this floor, and you haven't blown your whistle. So I had to take it in my own hands and like try to stand up for myself, and then you're going to call the foul. So I think that's kind of part of what happens between the other player.
For sure. I mean, I know that Calvin is not usually the one instigating this, because he is the chillest one on the court. And so for him to get upset and to start shoving back, or for him to get upset and say something back, something has to be obviously egregiously being said or done, because he is super chill. Super chill.
I feel like he is too, so.
Yeah, I know. Oh God. And then there was that 12-0 run from UNC, just absolute shitballs. Like couldn't score nothing. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, our offensive rebounds were just not there at all. But they didn't really have that many either. They only had 11, and we had 10. They only had one more than us, but it just, for some reason, just felt like we just couldn't get any sort of offensive rebound going. But that was, I guess, just for me watching the game. I was like, man, we're just not getting in there, getting those rebounds. We're not following our shots. What are we doing? But again, when you look at the stats when the game's over, it tells a little bit of a different story. But just during the game itself, when I'm furiously typing my notes at the brewery, chugging my beer because I'm so pissed off, which brings me to my other funny story was, again, like at the brewery, I'm sitting there watching the guys game, and it's literally just me watching the guys game because I don't know where everybody was at. I guess they figured that nobody was going to pay the $30 and show it anywhere, so they just said F it. But I was like, hey, I put it on at the brewery for myself and for whoever else wants to come watch it, whatever. Anyway, so I'm sitting there with me, my computer in the brewery, and the TV and my beer, just typing, watching, chugging my beer, yelling, every 5 minutes. And at one point, one of my friends at work looks over and he's like, are you okay? And I'm like, no, I'm not. No.
Thank you for asking, though.
I'm absolutely having a bad time right now. Because we can't rebound for shit. We can't shoot for shit. And I'm getting really irritated. Anyway, and then the girls' game came on, and it was, again, more yelling and screaming. And then there was at one point where a customer walked by and like, again, are you okay? No, I'm not. Because we're playing like shit. And it's been irritating. It's just not like us. Getting irritating. Yeah, just towards the end of the second half, just kind of a shit show falling apart. Second half, if that makes sense. We started out really strong that first half of that second half, coming out of the halftime, played really, really well, went on runs, we're doing well, caught up to them, and then something happened during that second half of the second half, if that makes any sense, that just started just kind of falling apart. The wheels fell off. They started shooting and we did not. And it's how the cookie crumbles. That's my catchphrase of the season, because there's nothing you can do about it. I mean, I'm glad that we had a little bit of a fan base that went and watched the game. Like Jacqueline said, there wasn't that many people at the game, like 500. I don't know what kind of, I don't know what they expected for CBI to get 500. Anyway, so it stunk. Last game of the season just wasn't that great, but what are you going to do? I mean, it's over. It's done with. There's no use crying over spilled milk. So last grievance for me is the situation with Gavin on Twitter. I feel like that was just unexcusable. Yeah, we are critical and we, have our opinions about the team and about our play. Obviously we have grievances, yes, but it's never that bad to where someone or anyone should ever speak to anybody like that, ever. It's just disgusting. And the fact that person felt they needed to create an entirely new account with whatever time they have on their hands and message Gavin that disgusting message that they sent. Who do you think you are? You are an absolute effing coward to do that.
You're absolutely right. And I'm glad you mentioned this so we can quickly address it, because I don't want to give people like that any more airtime. But
no, I just wanted to throw it out there and get it done and then move on, because
they are a coward, because if they were not saying something vile and despicable, they would just say it. They wouldn't have to disguise themselves as someone else. And like Alex said, we sit here and we discuss the game, but that's all we're doing. It's nothing personal. We discuss the stats, we discuss the game, we talk about what maybe we could have done better, and we say it as
us
Jacks, because we're just discussing the game. like we've shared some other tweets from other people, and it just seems to happen this time of year. Some people obviously have nothing else going on in their lives that they are that freaking butthurt over what happens with a college basketball team that you're going to attack someone as a human being and as a person and say stuff that's just completely out of line. And that game's not going to change your life. But now you have said something hurtful to upset someone else and disrupt their life. So please stop.
It just makes no sense. And again, out of all these people, like, you're sending it to student athletes who already sacrifice so much. Yeah, students in college, they do sacrifice, but like these student athletes, they sacrifice a lot. Some of them are moving away from home, thousands of miles. I mean, Gaben's from a completely different country, and he's thousands of miles away from his family and his friends. And so you think that sending that to him, talking about him not making his free throws, that ruined your entire life enough that you are going to wish him harm and hope he dies and then call him derogatory names? That's bullshit. I mean, give me a break. And guarantee that was not sent by any sort of SFA fan or Jack fan. It's just some butthurt little boy who probably bet on the game and lost a shit ton of money and got all up in their feelings. And you know what? That is no excuse. Zero excuse. I'm sorry. That is bullshit. And it's just a sad fact that there's a lot of student athletes that get messages, not just student athletes, I mean, pro athletes too, get messages like that telling them, oh, you should kill yourself because, oh, heaven forbid they missed a fucking free throw. For God's sakes, it's not that critical. It's not that critical. Yeah, when we have a shitty free throw percentage, we're going to say, oh, yeah, it was shit. Oh, well, move on. We moved on. Yeah. It's not that critical. Like, for God's sakes, it's just ridiculous. And that's all that we'll say about it. It's just ridiculous, disgusting. And I honestly hope that whoever sent that messages, they have more mental issues than anyone else, because that is bullshit. So that's what I have to say about that. Agreed.
Okay, so my first one is not necessarily a grievance. Well, I mean, I'm sad. It's just a question. Diego wasn't dressed out. I don't know what happened.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. I don't know.
He was there, but he was wearing like street clothes, workout stuff, if that makes sense. Whatever I'm trying to say. Like, he was wearing SFA gear, but not a uniform. So I don't know. Sad. Miss you, Diego.
I know.
Don't know what happened. Don't know the story. Okay, so what I said, my grievances with the announcers. Y'all, these announcers like literally lost me before the game even started, because as they're sitting there introducing our team, they're telling the back history of us losing to ACU in the WAC tournament. And they literally proceed to say that ACU won the WAC tournament and is going on to play in the NCAA tournament. And I'm like, bruh, they are literally playing in this tournament that you're commentating right now.
Oh my God.
What are you talking about? Like, in this tournament with us. I had to stop, pause it, and rewind it and listen to it again just to make sure that I didn't lose my mind. And I'm like, how are you that misinformed that you're going to say...
How are you not that prepared?
The tournament is playing the NCAA tournament, and they're literally in this postseason tournament that you're working.
That's bad. That's bad.
That mixed up, but I was like, oh, okay, no, yeah. All right, so I was annoyed by that, because that's just very simple. Literally, all you had to do is look at the list of teams that were in this tournament that you're working, and you would.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, but that's something that, yeah, for sure, they should just have that in front of them. Even if you didn't memorize all the teams in the tournament, at least just have a list in front of you so you don't make that simple, easy mistake. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
That's a big yikes.
Okay, we've already said, well, they can shoot the three. That's what I put on my notes. So Then we talked about the Calvin Tech, and I did put on my notes that from what I saw in the editing and the cuts, their guy was the one pushing on Calvin first. That Pember dude was just freaking sick. That
just
was sick. He was just such a good player. He was tough.
He really is really good. I mean, we can be objectively just drooling over a player like that. Like, the fact that he's great on both sides of the ball, just yeah.
He was tough.
Yeah.
Okay, I have another call the screen note that I'm sorry. It just frustrates me so bad because our poor David freaking runs into a brick wall. And like the thing is, Nana's man is the one that set the screen. And then I'm not necessarily saying it was Nana's fault, maybe a little, but also other people are stepping up and doing help defense because you saw this screen. So like you can't yell beforehand at least so that he doesn't run into it. I mean, I get it's all happening so fast, and maybe even if you yell it, they're not going to get around the screen. But all I want is for my man David to not smack right into someone and fall down. He literally smacked into him and like fell on the floor. And I'm like,
He's gonna get concussed, poor boy.
I'm like, if you see the screen in enough time to play help defense, you can help a man out here not run into a brick wall. I don't like that.
I don't like it either. I know I saw that and I was like, oh God,
I don't like that. I don't like it. There's just it's not necessary. Like that's an avoidable. I mean, that used to be really like the only thing that would piss me off during a game for my own teammates because
yeah.
Anything else, if you make a mistake, okay, we all make mistakes. But like if you're just gonna sit there and not call it, and I'm gonna run into this broad who's probably like 5 inches taller than me and bigger than me, no, like that is not a fun time for me. I don't like it.
Yeah. And I love, and everybody knows how much we love David. I mean, David's our dude, but like, and he's not the biggest guy. And so it'd be different if it was like someone like, Gavin or even like Nigel, like a little bit thicker dudes that can take a little bit of the brunt better. But
even then, I'm like that.
But even then, I don't like it either. No, I mean, they should call it regardless, but
it's a potential injury that could be avoided. That's all I'm saying. Please call
David's gonna get concussed, brother. You gotta call those.
Yeah, please do it for me. Poor Nigel. I know he knew this was a mistake as soon as he did it, but fouling on that 3 on the buzzer. I was just like, why did we do it? Okay, then two of my biggest pet peeves we did during this game. A ball fake, and then you pass it to that person anyway. I'm like, you just defeated the whole entire purpose of the ball fake if you're going to pass it anyway. And then along the same lines, the multiple pump fakes for a shot right at the bucket. And like now they know there's nothing else you're doing besides shooting. And now since you pump faked about 3 times, you travel because you shuffled your feet with all these pump fakes. And it's like, oh, I wonder what he's going to do next. Maybe he's going to shoot since he's 2 inches from the bucket.
Oh, shit.
Those are my last 2.
I love it. I really do. But you know what? Again, no matter what, no matter how much we talk about the team on here and all the good and bad, it doesn't matter. Season's over. We had a great season. We are very happy with how the regular season ended. It was a lovely surprise. The fact that we won regular season co-champs with 3 other really good schools, pleased as punch. Jacqueline and I are pleased as punch how the season ended. Regular season wise, yes, we would have loved to get, a WAC tournament victory and even a WAC tournament championship and go to the NCAA and the big dance like we're kind of used to doing. But yet again, it's our first season in the WAC. We honestly, at the very beginning of the season, our expectations were, high, but we weren't unrealistic about what was going to happen. And so I think that we were just very, very happy with how it ended. And we're going to have an entire episode either later this week or over the weekend about the whole season. We'll recap the whole season. We'll give out some of our awards that we do, our little Pardon Me Alex awards on who we thought was, MVP or, most valuable player, 6th man off the bench, stuff like that. So we'll have a whole nother episode where we go through and talk about the whole season and give out our little awards that don't mean absolute shit, but to just us, so if you would like to submit your own personal awards on who you think was, MVP or 6th man off the bench, shoot us an email, or not email, shoot us a DM, shoot us a message on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook, and maybe we'll mention it, what the fan vote was. Maybe we'll do a fan vote. I think we did last year.
I mean, because listen, we love these guys. We love watching them all season. That is why we do this.
Yeah.
We love it. So we want to give our own little moment to say accolades for who we think deserves them, and
absolutely
show them all a little love on what they did best.
Exactly, because all of them, every single player on that team had really great moments this season in their own respect. And, again, it's basketball. It's college basketball for a mid-major program. This is not critical life stuff, social issues that are currently happening in the world. So this is just what we think, our comments. Who is this? Nelson Roy Miles, you're like Blossom and 6 from in the 90s. I don't even know what that means.
No, I know who Blossom is, but
I know what Blossom is, but I don't know what 6 from the 90s. Blossom and 6. Oh, that's 2 words. Blossom and 6 from the 90s.
Yeah, but who's 6? I don't know who's 6.
Hi, Nelson Roy. Please explain 6. What is that?
Because I used to watch Blossom. I used to love that show.
Yeah. Like that name I am familiar with. I just am not sure what 6 means. Anyway.
Barely remember it.
Again, I don't know a 90s Blossom intro. Okay. If anybody out there can make us a 90s Blossom intro with Pardon Me, Alex, go for it.
We should look into it.
Go for it. We'll use it. Would totally do it. Yeah. What a season. Crazy, crazy, crazy. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to do a recap episode some point this week and or this weekend, and we're excited to talk about that. But yeah, that's pretty much from the CBI tournament. Not much else to mention. Obviously, the girls, they did represent us in the big dance. They played North Carolina. North Carolina kicked our ass this last weekend in basketball.
Okay, all the North Carolina teams did well because they beat us. Actual North Carolina men's won, North Carolina women's won. Bummer though, because the ladies, I really thought we had it in the bag.
Me too. Me too.
Quarter, I thought we had it in the bag. We were just going to walk out.
Me too. Something happened fourth quarter, just couldn't hang in there, man. And it was, that was rough.
Sad.
I know. He said, look up the Blossom theme song right now.
Okay.
Sure. We will do that for you, Nelson. No problem. No problem. But yeah, we're really hoping the girls would pull that out, but they did well. We're really proud of, again, both the guys and the girls, for representing us on postseason tournaments. And so very, very thankful that they had those opportunities to do that and be able to represent not only SFA, but Nacogdoches and the WAC in some postseason tournaments. So last thing I'll say on my end is shout out to ACU. They're still playing in the CBI. They're playing tonight, I believe. And so they're still representing the WAC. Go Coach Brett, go Coach Antonio. Excited for them to continue on and hopefully get another win tonight. That'd be great.
Yeah, my dad texted me that earlier. So it's the semifinals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're playing on ESPN too, which is nice. Fuck you, Flo Sports. I'm over that. Over it. Love it. Love it. All right. So hope everybody has a really great night. It's Tuesday. The weather is exponentially better in East Texas than it was last night. Enjoy it. Have a good week. And we will be back soon to do our postseason wrap up.
Are you gonna play the theme song from Blossom?
Oh, should I?
Yeah, go ahead and look it up.
All right.
Because I don't remember. That's been too many years ago. I don't remember that.
All right, one sec. Hey, okay, here we go. Ready?
Yep.
That's anybody's guess. Ain't no good reason for getting all depressed.
We will show the video.
In my opinion, nation, the sun is gonna surely shine. Stop all your fussing, slap on a smile. Come out and walk in the sun for a while. Don't fight the beat.
I think he meant to show the video of it, like what they were doing, the theme song, like during the intro.
Okay.
Yeah, because he was talking about how we looked, and and we got to see it.
Oh my goodness. Okay. You guys are killing me. I don't know. Okay. There we go. Like these opening credits? I'm dying because that's freaking Broad from Big Bang Theory.
Yeah, yeah.
I guess I never watched that show. So
I used to, but it's a very vague memory because I think I was just on the cusp of the generation that was maybe old enough to watch it, but not quite old enough. And so I feel like I kind of came on at the tail end and only caught like a little bit of it.
yeah, I mean, I remember the show. I don't think I ever watched it.
I'm gonna have to look it up and see what streaming platform has it, if any.
Who knows? Who knows?
Not Flo Sports. I'm just kidding.
Okay. Yeah, no. So anyway, all right, guys. So we're gonna end it up, and we will talk to you guys later. Again, we'll do our postseason recap episode soon. Have a great night, and as always, Axe and Jacks.
With Alex and Jax.